Hello words is the theme today. HellO. Pardon this profanity, but I'm focusing on the O at the end of the word. And here we have Punctilio. Cool word. It comes from the word punctilious, which is someone who is very rigid in terms of always applying the proper way of doing something. If there is a birthday party going on, let's say, the person who's punctilious will make sure everything is in order and goes directly according to plan. So what then is that punctilio? Is it that person? Oh, watch out, here comes the punctilio. No, actually punctilio is that specific form of conduct, that thing you must do. So I remember when I was much younger, I actually lived in England for a little bit, and I had grown up somewhat in America, and I'd come back to school in England for the summer, and there were all these little rules of etiquette, all these little punctilios that I didn't understand, especially during eating time. And apparently we would have to have our trays all in the perfect order. And I always messed up on these punctilios. And they would tell me, Christopher, your food is all over the place and you're eating with your mouth open. Of course, your place should also be 90 degrees and blah, blah, blah. And I was just completely scared. So punctilio, I'm sure we've all grown up living with those little rules of etiquette or conduct. A kind of related word is peccadillo. Or if you want to kind of throw a little Spanish zing into it, you can say peccadillo. But peccadillo does come from Spanish, but it means not like a little small armadillo or creature, but pecca means sin, and illo at the end means something that's small. So a small sin, something that's not a big deal, maybe eating with your mouth open, is considered a peccadillo. What are some other peccadillos that you can think of? Well, driving along in the car, and I'm sure most of you drive every day, the vehicular peccadillos I can think of is the stop sign where there's nobody there. It's like a residential road, it's quiet, and you kind of do that little rolling action where you don't stop. That would be a driving peccadillo. Now, if you're driving on the highway at like 100 miles an hour honking your horn, that would be very far from a peccadillo. Next, we have olio, another word that's from Spanish. There seems to be a theme today in words ending in O. This has a weird background. We have olla podrido, pardon my Spanish pronunciation, but apparently olla podrido or olla podrida is a rotten stew that goes into these jars in Spain, and these jars are called the ollas, which is really weird. Now the word here doesn't actually mean rotten, it just means like a random mixture of things, a jumble. And the idea is that there's a stew. So whenever there's a stew, there's a mixture of things. So you don't have to worry about anything being rotten. But olio is just a collection of things. Like this is an olio of words that end with an O. Speaking of which, the last word we have is simpatico. Simpatico, if you know Spanish, means nice. And that's great because in GRE land, in English, simpatico also means someone that is nice, agreeable, easy to get along with. And hopefully these words weren't too bad today and you will find them simpatico. And I will see you